Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between two hills, lived a curious and brave boy named Billy. He had bright eyes full of wonder and a heart that longed for adventure. One sunny afternoon, while exploring the edge of his village woods, Billy heard whispers in the wind, strange, soft murmurs that seemed to call him deeper into the trees. Against his grandmother's warnings, "Never go into the dark forest, Billy. It swallows the light and hides old magic," he stepped past the twisted oak tree that marked the forest's edge and into shadows. The forest closed behind him like a door slamming shut. The once warm sunlight was swallowed by thick canopy leaves, leaving only moonlight-like glimmers filtering through. Birds stopped singing. Even the bugs grew quiet. Billy looked back, but the path had vanished. Thorns and vines had grown where he had come from. His heart pounded. He was lost. He wandered for what felt like hours, passing glowing mushrooms, whispering leaves, and strange statues hidden under moss. Then came the first danger. A fog rolled in suddenly, heavy and stinking of wet earth and something Elzerot. As it curled around Billy's legs, he saw them, glowing red eyes, peering from the mist. Out of the fog leapt a creature with black fur and too many teeth, a shadow wolf, guardian of the forest's secrets. Billy dropped a handful of acorns he'd been playing with earlier, scattering them on the ground. The wolf paused, sniffing. "Take these," whispered a voice in his mind. "Let him taste memory." Billy understood. He focused on the happiest memory he had, his birthday, surrounded by family, laughter echoing. The acorns glowed faintly. The wolf took one, hesitated, then backed away into the fog. Exhausted and thirsty, Billy stumbled upon a narrow river. Its waters sang softly a melody that made him feel sleepy. But as he leaned down to drink, faces began rising from the surface. They were kids, some familiar, maybe even himself in dreams. They reached out, trying to pull him in. "No!" shouted Billy, stepping back. "I'm not staying." He found a fallen branch, lit it with flint he carried, always prepared, his dad had taught him, and waved the fire over the water. The faces screamed and vanished. The river bubbled angrily, splitting apart just enough for him to cross on slippery stones. With all his courage, he jumped across, barely making it before the river closed again behind him. At the forest's center stood an ancient tree taller than the sky. From its trunk emerged a figure cloaked in bark and ivy, keeper of the forest. Her eyes were hollow pits filled with stars. "Why have you entered my domain, child?" Her voice boomed like thunder in wood. Billy bowed his head. "I followed a whisper. I was curious. I didn't mean any harm." She studied him. Curiosity is both gift and curse. Many enter this forest seeking answers, few leave. Billy gulped. "Please let me go home." The keeper narrowed her star eyes. "Only those who face their fear may walk free." With a wave of her hand, the world changed. Billy now stood in a clearing full of mirrors. Each showed a different version of himself, scared, crying, alone, or worse. Older versions corrupted by darkness. One mirror cracked open, releasing a shadowed duplicate, dark Billy. He wore torn clothes, his eyes were empty, and he laughed a cold laugh. "You could have turned back," said the shadow. "But curiosity brought you here. We are the same." Billy trembled but stood tall. "No, you gave up. I won't." He grabbed a shard of broken mirror and held it up. Light poured from within him, love, memories, hope, and struck the shadow. With a shriek, it melted into mist. The real keeper appeared once more. "Well done, Billy," she said gently. "You faced what even adults cannot. Go now, but remember, the forest always watches." Billy opened his eyes beside the oak tree at the forest's edge. Sunlight warmed his skin, birds chirped, the village bell rang in the distance. Had it all been a dream? He looked down at his hand. Clutched tightly was a single glowing acorn. That night, the whisper returned, but softer, kinder. Billy smiled. Maybe one day he would return. Billy never forgot his first journey into the dark forest, nor did he speak of it. But every night, the whisper returned softer now, like a lullaby calling him back. He kept the glowing acorn under his pillow, where it gave him dreams of trees that walked, rivers that remembered, and stars that whispered secrets. 1 year to the day after his last adventure, the wind blew colder than usual through the village. The sky darkened even though the sun had not set. Animals fled toward the hills, and the old oak at the forest's edge groaned as if in pain. Billy knew what it meant. The forest was calling again. This time, Billy didn't go alone. He told his best friend Lila, a clever girl with braids like ropes and a brain full of maps and legends. She believed him when others wouldn't, and together they stood at the edge of the dark forest. "Are you sure?" she asked, gripping her lantern tightly. "Nope," said Billy, smiling. "But I have to go." They stepped past the oak and were swallowed by shadows once more. Inside, everything felt wrong. The forest was quieter than before, like holding its breath. Trees bent inward, their branches forming barred windows. The air smelled burnt, but not with fire, with sadness. Then came a voice neither of them recognized. "You shouldn't have come back." From behind a twisted willow stepped a boy no older than Billy. His skin was pale as moonlight, his eyes hollow. He wore clothes made of bark and moss, but most disturbing was his face. It looked exactly like Billy's. "I am your echo," the boy said. "The part of you that never left." Billy shook his head. "I left. I came out." "No," the boy hissed. "Part of you stayed here. Part of you wanted to stay." His name was Echo, a child born from the forest's magic, created when Billy had faced his fear and won. The keeper had warned him, "Only those who leave their fear behind may walk free." Some tiny piece of doubt must have remained, and it had taken form. Echo raised his hand, and mirrors rose from the earth like tombstones. Each showed visions not just of Billy's fears, but of Lila's. "You brought her here," Echo sneered. "She doesn't belong. She'll be lost forever." Lila stepped forward. "I don't need permission to be brave." She pulled out a compass from her coatone that spun wildly until it pointed straight into the heart of the forest. "That way," she said, "we find the truth." As they ventured deeper, strange things followed them, trees that blinked, roots that twitched like snakes. Once, Billy swore he saw his grandmother walking silently through the fog, but when he called out, she vanished like mist. At last, they reached the Heartless Grove, a place Echo had tried to stop them from entering. In the center stood a tree unlike any other. Its bark was black and cracked, and from its roots poured not water, but tears. "This is the source," Lila whispered. "The forest's sorrow." Echo screamed in pain. No, you can't fix this. Billy stepped forward. Maybe we can. He placed the glowing acorn into the soil. It pulsed once, then burst into light. The tears stopped. The tree shuddered, and from its core emerged something small and glowing, a heart. The forest sighed. The keeper of the forest appeared once more, her star-filled eyes softer than before. You return not for glory or power, she said, looking at both Billy and Lila. You return to heal what was broken. She turned to Echo. You were born from fear and regret, but even you are not beyond love. Echo trembled. I only wanted to be real. Billy stepped forward. You are real. You're part of me. And that means you're brave, too. For the first time, Echo smiled. With a gentle glow, he faded into light and joined Billy once more. Billy and Lila woke beneath the great oak at the forest's edge. The sky was clear again. The whispers were gone. But something had changed. Lila held a new seed in her palm, glowing faintly. And the wind no longer whispered. It sang.